Thank you, Chairman, and I'll actually try to pick up where you left off here. And my question is going to be for Mr. Poole, but I'll open it up to Ms. Beard as well if you have the answers to this. But so were you just saying that there are 100 people that have taken either the DRP or the VERA, you've accepted their resignations, 100 people within OIT? Is that what you'd said?
Let me hand it over to Ms. Beard, Ranking Member. It's actually not 100. It's actually somewhat north of that. So, Ms. Beard.
So our total participation in the programs is 1,172 as of today.
Okay, that took advantage of one of those too. Okay. And then when you were talking about, and I appreciate what you were saying, that these are folks that are providing support. I guess my concern is that support, though, does support the overall mission of OIT. So at what level or what point does that type of a level of vacancies then erode the overall mission of OIT? And I guess I'll direct this to you, Mr. Poole. If you could kind of further elaborate on when you were accepting these early retirements or resignations, how did you kind of consider that when they came to you? Does it in any way erode what you're trying to accomplish within OIT?
Yeah, thank you, Ranking Member Budzinski. Yes, to answer your question, this is largely an opportunity where we have looked at where duplicated functions exist within IT and where these administrative functions are being performed elsewhere. I'll use HR as an example, where in OIT we built our own IT function within the IT department. This is a shared service that we can get from the department level HR areas. So that in itself is a pretty significant opportunity where we are able to basically reinvest back into the mission focused functions of IT to be as mission facing, mission purposed as we possibly can.
So I guess would it be possible to provide to this subcommittee kind of a list of, who participated in this reorganization and where these resignations or early retirements have come, just so we can kind of better understand? I appreciate the example you gave with HR, but obviously if it's well north of 1,000 people, just concerned about where all those are coming from.
Yes, Congresswoman, we can absolutely do that.
Okay, thank you. Can I just ask then, Ms. Harris, could you kind of elaborate a little bit on, what you've been able to observe as far as OIT's workforce planning and how they looked at this? I know they've done a significant amount of restructuring.
Yeah, so back in January of 2025, we actually issued a report evaluating VA's cyber workforce in particular, but I think those trends can probably be applied across OIT. What we found was OIT's strategic workforce plan was incomplete. They don't have an inventory of their current workforce skills and competencies. So in terms of with the restructuring, not even having a baseline of what it is that they have, it's gonna be difficult to tell, okay, from there, what is it that you're gonna project to and what you're gonna need in the future. They also didn't comprehensively identify their current and future human capital needs, skills, and competencies. So those are essential things that you're going to need with any reform effort. Whatever your goals are and objectives are for a reform effort, you're going to need to make sure that the workforce matches that need. And so being able to have those processes in place and have a complete picture of what you currently have and what you need to have in the future to match your reform effort, that's essential. And right now, VA does not have that capability. We have open recommendations related to that.
Okay. Could I just, Mr. Poole, ask you to kind of respond to that? I would be curious kind of how you might have looked through your process in these different early retirements, et cetera, what processes were in place, and talk a little bit more about that and kind of trying to meet this metric, I think, the GAO is pointing out being important to the overall, again, the mission of OIT.
Yes, thank you for the question again, Congresswoman. We looked at every single one of the individuals that took advantage of these opportunities and assessed that from a leadership perspective to ensure that this would not create any operational gaps or introduce unnecessary risks to the department. And in going through that process, we made certain that in order to honor the requests, the voluntary requests that were being submitted, that again, we had mitigation strategies in place to ensure continuity of operations and As I mentioned previously, it gave us the opportunity to actually bring efficiencies in some areas and optimize some of those processes and workflows to really, again, provide a better outcome for the department. So it was very, very rationalized and very, very closely analyzed as we went about that process.
I think I'm out of time, but I'll yield back for now.
Thank you. Ms. Sherfless McCormick for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Barrett, and thank you, Ranking Member Budzinski, for convening today's hearing. As a former healthcare